What's Cinder, a remix of Dark Souls 3 by Rotaka. Welcome everybody to the final show.
And I'm Tormod
of 2023. This is Tormod. I'm Mr.
tell.
Bond.
And I'm Vlad.
And we've got Vlad here with us. Welcome everybody. It's insert credits time. We did not have a show in November, unfortunately, due to some other circumstances, but here we are. For number 11 on the year and the final one of the year, cause fuck you 2023. But here we are one more time for everybody, including ourselves. So welcome everybody. This is a podcast about, and a stream, I suppose, about video games. We typically talk about news first, then we listen to some cool-ass music that you just heard in our intro. Then we talk about what we've been playing since last time, which we should have a pretty sizable list because we're going on 2 months. And then we do some more tunes. And then at the end, we do some design. Completely ad hoc, off the cuff. We don't prepare anything at all. We take a bunch of random stuff from letsmakeagame.net, and we try to jam a game out of it in like 20, 25, sometimes 30 minutes, depending on how spicy we're feeling.
And sometimes it's not even porn.
Sometimes it's not porn. Only sometimes, though, because sometimes it is, because we have to work with what we're given. So, you know, we
maximum of 3 rolls.
Do what we do.
You know.
So
one of these days, it's going to be a borrow werewolf visual novel, whatever. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I think we did do a visual novel once, didn't we?
We did.
At least once, yeah.
That might have been one of the erotic ones, actually. Might have been. Don't remember so well. But anyways, housekeeping. Let's talk about next shows. Let's talk about the first show for 2024.
Yeah.
We've got that one slated for the 12th of January, which would be now, I guess, 118. Yep. That's how math works. And then for 119 in February, 16th? That's pretty dead center, eh?
Yeah, seems good.
All right. We can do that. That would be 120. Is that 120? No, that's 119. That's not how math works. Okay. Off to a great start. And then I guess we could go a third one deep into March, which would be 120. 15th, also extremely in the middle, if we're good with that. All right, very good. Resounding yes. Love it. Okay, and we are 3 out, which is about as far as we care to go because time is nothing but an illusion.
Flat circle, etc.
Yep. We all know how that goes. I think there was one other housekeeping bit we needed to cover, right? About upcoming new changes to intros and outros.
All right, fine. We said we were going to do it by the end of the year. Guess what? We haven't done it yet, so we have 2 weeks.
We do have 2 weeks, and also technically probably 2 weeks after that until the first show of next year. So,
but they don't need to know that.
No, they don't, but they do now. So whatever, it's fine.
Yeah.
We're real good at that stuff. But yeah, I think that takes care of the housekeeping then, and it's on to Around the World. Some news. Lots of news to cover because 2 months. Let's start off with kind of like how it started and how it's going. We have covered the Epic versus Apple stuff, their whole lawsuits and all that. And now Epic versus Google is starting to heat up. And in fact, it heated up and then it came to a resounding, well, maybe not full conclusion, but some judgment has come down on it, which is kind of fun. So Epic is being all nasty towards Google because they're trying to claim like, oh, you're controlling your app store too tightly. It's antitrust and it's monopoly and whatever. It turns out the jury agrees. They have handed down a judgment that Google's app store, the Play Store, is indeed monopolistic and violates a whole bunch of antitrust stuff. So we'll see how that shakes out. Undoubtedly, Google will appeal. It's a thumbs up. Like, I'm excited about that. Of course, this is a billionaire slap fight between Google and Epic. So, I mean,
if you're into that, you know,
if you're into that, that's fine. And we've been watching it forever. And whenever it started with, I don't know, when did it start? Months, years,
decades.
Possibly no, probably not decades.
No.
At least not this particular one. But, billionaires do as billionaires do. So we'll see what happens with this. I imagine we'll hear more about it. Maybe not for next time, depending on how fast the appeals fly. But that's how it goes. That's how it goes for now. My news is just all over the place. I don't know how to even organize this because we've got some I think the jury saying it was antitrust violations was good news. I'll qualify that as good.
It wasn't really expected either.
No, it really wasn't, considering they being Epic mostly lost their thing against Apple. I mean, there were some rulings in favor of Epic and some rulings in favor of Apple, but by and large it was mostly in Apple's favor. Which you would have thought would have informed this one a bit, precedent and all that. But apparently there were different enough arguments that they were able to convince a jury that, yeah, hey, Google, you doing bad. Which is cool, which is fine and cool and good. All right, some unfortunate news, though. Microsoft is starting to police unauthorized Xbox accessories. aka locking down interoperability with devices that are not given their blessing, I suppose. This, of course, has worried some accessibility advocates, as well as just normal-ass people. Like, they want to be able to use what they have to play on Xbox, PC gaming, etc., etc., but not much has come out of it yet. It's unfortunate that Microsoft is even beginning to take that sort of stance, because why? Why? Ostensibly, this is probably to do some sort of anti-cheat and cheating devices and whatever, but...
Back in the day, they kind of banned that shit because, oh no, what if you cross the pin and short out the console and stuff? Because that's happened with fucking Sega.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, these days it's all wireless, so the fuck?
Yeah, it's all wireless and very well understood USB, and it's like, we've been doing this for years. Why do we need to fucking... Ugh.
Blatant money grab.
Yeah, it's more or less probably money, as it always happens to be. Like, what the fuck? Speaking of corporate entities being kind of like, what the fuck recently, Capcom has issued a tone-deaf assessment of mods, comparing them to cheating, which is really strange. No, mods help you enjoy the game, usually, especially single-player mods, and people want to play the game the way they want to play the game. If you're kind of relating that to cheating, I don't know what to tell you, Capcom. That's not great. I don't know how or what they think people are going to react to that, in one fashion. So, boy, I don't know. I think modding's great.
Yeah.
I can understand kind of restricting it in an online shared play space. You don't obviously you don't want people to cheat, and you don't want aim bots, etc., etc. But hell, if it's a single player experience, fuck you. It's on my machine. I'm gonna do what I want to it. So that's very interesting. Let's do some positive stuff, though. I'm gonna rate this as positive because this always annoyed me about previous online Mario Kart games. A Mario Kart 8 update has come out, ostensibly to address the somewhat popular strategy, quote unquote, of sandbagging to get good items. I was not aware this existed, but I guess it makes sense. From reading up about it, the tactic is to hang back in worse ranks so you get better items and then use them, at the end to shoot to the front of the pack or whatever. Okay, cool, I guess. Then again, I haven't played an online Mario Kart title since 7, I think was the 3DS one, right? And that one was real notorious for snaking. If you had the...
So was DS.
Was it DS, really?
I think the whole back and forth. Yeah, that was definitely DS.
Oh, was it DS?
Okay. It could have been both, but I know it was definitely a thing on DS.
Okay, maybe that's the one I remember playing, because I used to play that a little bit online just for funsies, and I do remember snaking being a big thing. And once you see that going on in the match, you're just like, all right, well, this really isn't fun. So I can understand why they're going after these, kind of weird strategies. It's a strategy that the game obviously permitted. It was, leveraging the game mechanics in a way that they were designed. So the fact that they're taking aim at it is, I guess it's fine. I'd call it neutral at the very least, maybe positive, depending on your perspective on it, I suppose. Then again, I haven't played online Mario Kart since 7, so whatever. Doesn't really affect me. You got a little curious look to you there?
Discord decided to shit itself, nothing new.
Oh, all right.
I was just like, what?
Par.
What? Aberrations? Okay.
Par for course. Very good.
Yeah. It's all good.
Okay, well, let's slide up the scale on positive news then. Well, depending on how you look at this, I suppose. Apparently, there has been officially confirmed now that there's a live-action Legend of Zelda movie in the works. I don't know. I don't know about this one. Obviously, we just had the Super Mario movie recently. It's not live action.
Which is on Netflix now.
Nice. It's not live action, of course. It's cartoon CG, etc. And that one, I felt that one was surprisingly good. Of course, I had a very low bar for it because, movies and other media based on video games typically do not do very well. They butcher the story, they take too many liberties, do blah, 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 whatever. But Super Mario Brothers was great. I enjoyed it. I'm sure people have other opinions about it, but I like that one. I'm not so sure about introducing live action into the mix, though. Boy, I don't know how to feel about it. I'm gonna keep my bars low. I'm gonna keep my expectations low. So if it is like good or even passable, then it's like, hey, yeah, all right, surprise. But who knows? Maybe it'll be a few years yet.
You up for story time?
Yeah.
All right. You remember at that college that we went to at that place in that state?
Yeah.
And how we walked across the bridge to go to a matinee of a particular Paul Blart movie?
Yeah.
With flasks in tow and large cherry Pepsis and dumping them into said Pepsis?
I can neither confirm nor deny that happened, but yes, go on.
Sorry, police officer, you said nothing. I
do remember that.
That's about my expectation for this.
Oh, okay. You know what? That's fair. That's fair.
Actually, weird, but relevant. Apparently there was a theater production of some sort of futuristic Paul Blart thing in Madison recently.
Oh yeah, so it was a whole play written about like a post-apocalyptic sequel to the Paul Blart movies, except that
in
it was
the cinematic universe.
But the director intentionally had never seen the Mall Cop movies and avoided being exposed to any of the actual canon and just went like purely off the premise and the knowledge of the characters.
Okay.
To write it. So it was like this whole weirdly creative thing. I kind of want to see it.
I do too.
I respect the play. Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally.
Okay. Huh. That might not be too bad actually.
But in terms of the movie,
in terms of the Legend of Zelda movie, we'll see. Like in these very long storied narrative games, like inevitably it's gonna not be good enough for probably most people, because they'll expect a lot more than what they're able to do in 2-ish hours. I'm gonna guess.
Did they say anything about what storyline or what direction they're going for?
I don't
because like
think
Zelda
so.
does cover such a span.
Yeah, it's like that's kind of the problem. Like what
it's gonna be a guide.
portion?
Like that's the best thing they can do with that amount of time. Like an hour and a half. You have like one plot arc.
Mhm.
Have fun.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's gonna be like Zelda Gaiden.
Oh, it's
like we've seen some stuff like that in the past.
It's
but
funny because we were just talking about the Final Fantasy movie this morning.
Yeah.
And like how that kind of was a departure from the previous Final Fantasy games. Disappointed fans.
The Spirits Within one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I kind of forgot that Advent Children and everything after that happened.
Oh.
So I was like, wait, it's not the only Final Fantasy movie. Shit.
I suppose not. Yeah. I don't think I've seen those.
I don't think.
Yeah, Spirits Within was kind of weird, but I don't know. It seemed to be okay.
Here's my introduction to Gaia theory. Thanks, random weeb movie. It's great.
Good jorb. Yeah, but anyways, so we've probably got a couple years yet to wait for this one to come out, but it's been officially confirmed, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Of course, there was also official confirmations for like a Tetris movie and other things, and that kind of fizzled out too. So, who knows if this is even going to actually happen.
The Tetris Company or Arika? Who killed it?
I no idea. No idea, man.
Get blocked.
I get it. All right. More good news. So Unity clearly they shot themselves in the foot.
What's the buzzword? Let's go.
After putting that foot squarely within their own mouths first. Mm-hmm. And people are continually just throwing shade their way. And the most recent bit that I've come across so far here is Game Maker has positioned their 2D game engine as free for non-commercial use.
Woo!
As well as setting out some subscription and licensing terms that are pretty straightforward. $100 a year if you're doing PC, mobile, or browser, or $80 a month if you're doing console. It's part of the extended enterprise-y type package or whatever.
That's not what you wrote.
Is it not?
You said a one-time $100 cost.
Oh shit! No, sorry. One-time $100 license for season. That's even better.
yeah.
Yeah. No, that's definitely correct. And what I just said was false.
One-time licensing in 2020.
I know,
Like,
right. And
It's still my heart.
and of course, shocking nobody because this isn't Unity. There was no mention of a runtime or install per install fee. So yeah. Take that Unity again. Fuck you for even trying that. More good news. It is the original Doom's 30th anniversary. 30 dang years, 1993.
I remember floppies. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Hi.
there.
But in sort of celebration of that, John Romero has released another pack of maps.
Yes.
Nice megawad called Sigil 2, riding on the heels of his original, well, not his original, but his other more recent release of Sigil back in 2019.
Alrighty.
And then he and John Carmack, of course, the two Johns of id there, sat down, did a little interview reminiscence, reflecting on the success of Doom, and then, of course, the follow-ups to that. Which was a very interesting listen and or read, depending on the media you would choose to consume it in.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Very, very interesting perspectives from the two Johns. So
It was just realizing, like, Valve set a pretty high bar recently with Half-Life. Like,
You may as well
good
talk about that now.
right,
Yeah.
Go
Please.
for it.
I'm not the one to talk about it. I don't have the
All right.
detailed news article in front of me to look at. You
I
have
mean,
notes.
that's fair. I have some notes. I did not go into specifics because I was trusting that you would.
Oh, okay.
All right, Valve.
Well coordinated.
For Half-Life, the 25th anniversary of the original Half-Life, November 19th, 1998. Woo, 25 years ago.
Jeez.
They released a documentary, about an hour long, was it?
I think so. I
About
haven't watched it yet. I do intend to, but
The actual development process of it
Nice,
and some of the
yeah.
design choices and the kind of ambiance that they wanted to get from it and the technical challenges that they had. And I haven't watched it either. I want to. It is my kind of thing.
you need to play the game first.
I understand.
You do, yes.
However, okay, just hear me out here. So, like, allegedly it's very candid about, like, oh shit, these are, like, the awful moments that we had trying to develop the thing. A lot of the terrible technical challenges, the bugs that we found and literally just fixed because of the update. By the way, 25 years, they had a massive update for the original Half-Life. Much better high DPI scaling. They actually fixed long-standing bugs that have been around since the OG release. You know, Valve, as they do. So,
They added support for, modern screen sizes and
Yeah.
whatnot as well.
aspect ratios, that kind of thing.
Good.
Um,
Upscale
Yeah.
textures.
And added some, gosh, it was a software video mode. Didn't they? It was something to add a compatibility layer to make sure like old effects from the late 90s would still work.
Oh, I don't know.
That kind of thing?
I didn't get that into the
Wild.
release notes.
I want to say there was some sort of 3DFX compatibility layer in there, but I could
Oh,
be
wow.
wrong. I don't know.
That takes me back.
I seem to recall there being something like that because like over the years they dropped support for one particular aspect of like the old tech they were using, and now they found a way to add it back in via software. So something like that.
Wild. Yeah, okay.
But Half-Life, one of the OG franchises, like hell yeah, I do want to play it. I know.
They also completely revamped the multiplayer and added
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 new maps.
Yeah, I
and-
remember hearing about the new
There's
maps.
a lot of content, and it's
Yeah.
all free. So yeah,
that's
people
the other
were
big
like
thing. Yeah, they made it free, so that's
100% free. People were
kinda
like,
wild.
why is there like a 2 gigabyte update for Half-Life? What the fuck? And then they were like, oh.
Right.
So you should check out the original Half-Life website. They have all sorts of really cool things about the update and the documentary and everything there. It's super exciting. I wanted to not completely leave Unity, but we did anyway, and it's okay. I'm going to go back to it now.
Go for it. Do it.
Unity 6? Whatever the next version is. I don't know what the fuck version they're on now.
They're labeling them by years and quarters now.
Oh, joke.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's
Just
great.
fuck off. Whatever. Anyway, so Unity is apparently going to be building in responsible, ethical AI in their next release, and I saw that and I was just like,
Yeah,
okay,
mhm.
goodbye. Yeah,
That's
that's
all
as much as I read on that.
Sure.
I saw that you already put some stuff in there. I just figured I'd rag on them a little more.
No, please do. They deserve it.
So, yeah, about that. Okay. Well, we went to PAX. It was a good time. And then COVID happened, and we haven't been back.
Correct.
And a lot of things died. Like events.
Yeah.
Events. A lot of events
Like
died.
a lot of events died.
And E3 is not going to happen anymore.
No, it has been
Completely gone.
Officially torpedoed.
Yep. So E3 is no longer going to be an event. Yeah. Considering how it was in the several last years and its waning popularity and usefulness and everything else. Oh well. You had your run. You set a precedent. Other things iterated better than you.
Yep.
That's how these things go. But
were you a trade show? Were you a consumer show? They couldn't figure that out.
No, not really. So there are many events these days that are still alive and thriving and have wonderful communities behind them. Go support them. Interest in the games industry, what people are doing. Continued community backlash against developers who enforce burnout policies and whatnot. Like, yeah, the culture's changed a lot in recent years because people are much more aware. So instead of just press releases and marketing being like, we're promising you all these features and updates and yada, 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 and the developers are literally dying. Yeah, no. Please be involved. Be aware of the shit that you're purchasing from the developers who are making those things. Yeah. So there's just much more accessibility these days. You don't have to rely on magazines or trade shows. You have the internet. You have people posting on social media, even the developers, that kind of thing. So the culture's changed a lot. There's a lot more information out there. Yeah. E3, not so relevant these days.
Well, rip regardless, I guess. That was kind of one of those shows that I sort of thought about wanting to go to at some point.
At some point.
Because it'd be like, oh yeah, this is neat. I went to E3 once. Cool.
Right. Cross it off the bucket list.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it's like, when we went to PAX all those years in a row. That was great. I loved it.
I
That
want
was
to go
fantastic.
back at some point.
Yeah.
Seattle, great place.
Yeah. And then it was like, E3, whatever.
I mean, Kenny, you're not wrong. Like,
oh god.
somehow
That's
I
true.
missed
Game
the fact that
Awards.
the Game Awards were even happening
Oh, jeez.
until a friend who happens to probably be here listening told me the night of, and I was just like, huh? What? So,
They
yeah,
already have their own issues to work out.
Just a
they
bit.
do. But, whatever. Moving on. You already heard me bitch about Discord. I'm going to bitch about it again. They recently had a mobile overhaul, whatever. Underhaul? Regression?
They changed. That's the most
They
charitable thing we can say about it.
Major app update.
Yeah, okay. So, it's no surprise. A lot of people are very familiar with the word Electron because of Discord, and it being a means of producing a user interface that is common across several platforms, screen sizes, interaction methods, that kind of thing. And, okay. People are worried now for the reason of, gee, Electron, you have this one interface that works everywhere. Now the mobile interface is a piece of shit. Once the desktop could update to the same garbage. So, yeah, it has reintroduced bugs like tapping on a DM and then going out to another chat or a channel or anything, and nothing refreshes in the right pane. Yes, I'm in the community news channel and I'm reading about...
Fantastic.
Never mind. Oops. We're not going to go into that. Furry things. So, yeah, community news. Not that. No. So, all sorts of different bugs. It's unusable. It is a thing that I have to constantly close and reopen, and maybe I'll see the right content.
Maybe.
I don't get alerts,
Yeah.
even less than I did before, which is somehow amazing. You fucked it up even harder. Congratulations. I'm not looking forward to when the changes roll down to the desktop app, at which point, like, is it really worth it?
Yeah, I think at that point that's a strong consideration to just bail to another platform and start convincing friends to do so. But Which is sucky because the number of viable platforms seems to be steadily diminishing in recent years. But
Yeah, and while I like okay, so a little background. I left Discord at one point because oh my god, crypto and NFTs and shit. So I decided to move my community to a gilded guild. And of course that's owned by Roblox, which isn't great. However, they also had a lot of technical features that Discord didn't have at the time. You had the ability to have forums and galleries and announcements channels and things that were interactive.
I think they did events before Discord did.
They did too. Yeah. You could even have a calendar, literally a calendar in there to see everything, as well as an announcements channel when those things happen, all sorts of different stuff. Discord copped a lot of that and became much more interesting. You have community servers now, so long as you follow some guidelines, so you can do a lot of the same things.
Right,
Cool.
right.
So there was less draw for me to stay on Gilded because I basically torpedoed everything I had anyway because social media is a shit. But now thinking about going back to Discord because, there's Discord integration with a lot of games. You can be like, hey, I'm going to send an invite. Suddenly you have a bunch of people from a Discord server in your party ready to play a game. If they're going to keep doing this shit and make it intentionally more difficult to actually communicate with the application, people aren't going to use it. A lot of people have already left. Like, this was the final straw. Like, I can't get any alerts on my phone. I'm trying to stream. I'm trying to see things that are going on in my mods channel and stuff. I can't actually get messages from my mods. I'm done. No more.
See, like,
Fantastic.
to me, this just feels like they're following a delayed track of exactly what's been happening with Spotify, where it was originally a service for, like, music nerds, and it was set up in a very, like, organizational nerd focused way where it was like this is very like detailed and there's lots of features and options, and over time as it becomes more mainstream they dumb it down, they make it look more spaced out and polished, they reduce as many user features and complexity as possible to improve cross-platform support and reduce the amount of overhead. It all trends the same direction where they like abandon their core user base because the nerds and the early adopters don't matter anymore. We have millions of users of the normie type who just don't care as long as they can chat with their friends.
Right.
So I don't know. It also feels like the UI changes on the mobile app are very like, oh, we're going to make it look and feel and work like Snapchat, WhatsApp, Telegram instead of like IRC because now we're targeting mainstream users rather than gamers and nerds. It just like swipe to reply, I think, is one of the biggest irritations for me because you used to be
you can't
able to
open up the user list by going right to
that
left.
is?
Yeah, so you can't swipe from
I
the
didn't
right
even
side
know
to...
what that did because I started dragging one to the left. Like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't even know what it does.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
now
so
it's
if you look
swipe
above
to
your
reply.
input box, it's like replying to,
shit.
but it's like no really
No.
good visual indication. There's not like any color change. There's nothing that calls it out.
Let me just
Yes.
long tap the damn message I want to reply to like before.
Right,
that was
right,
fine.
right.
Why
So,
did you
so
change
the
that?
thing is like it's they had this happy medium for like a year or two where it was like all the goodness of the IRC like format plus some of the modern features like replies and reactions and things.
Mm-hmm.
And like now they've just gone fully over the edge into we're just going to copy every other messaging app and lost all their, original charm. No, it was genuinely good for a bit there though. Like, am I wrong? Like
In
it was
2016.
Yeah, but like in the late 2010s and like into 2020, 21, like it was still a good service. It was useful, it functioned well, it was consistent in UI design over pretty much that entire span.
I am a
Like-
creature of massive disappointment with tech,
Yeah.
largely
yeah.
over the last 10 years. And I'm like, wow, everything that I was baited and switched into loving is now awful, and I hate it.
Yeah.
And now I'm
that's
just jaded and spiteful.
generally the trend of things.
Yeah.
Well, and it is the whole like the growth dynamic. Like you have something that is functioning as a company. They need to appear to be doing something to grow and change in order to continue to attract investment dollars. And so they're just inevitably going to screw themselves over by changing too much and alienating users.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to stop being angry at that for now.
Whatever. Don't get attached to things.
Yeah.
Don't love.
Is
there
the
you
lesson
go.
here.
Biggest life lesson.
I mean,
hi, love you.
Notice I said things, not people. Get attached to people if you want. I don't care.
Support alternative models of software development, I guess.
Yeah.
Hack things. Build things. That's fun.
Build clients for proprietary protocols.
It is fun. Support ActivityPub. Except for you, Threads. Fuck off. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, let's not. Fuck. All right. Gonna move on from that. Do I want to be angry again?
No.
Okay, let's move on to something that isn't as angry. Capcom.
Kappa Kapam.
Say that slower so I can learn it.
Kappa Kapam.
Kappa Capam.
Yeah.
Love it. All right, cool. Kakariko has confirmed additional Resident Evil remakes are coming. Code Veronica fans are like, that's about it.
Never played Code Veronica.
Yeah, same. But I hear it's like the next thing that everyone's like banging their forks on the table, expecting the chef to come out with it. So, yeah, you know what? Props. Honestly, like,
cool. I mean, it's a fine enough series. Like, I don't think. Well, let's see. Was there like a really bad entry in the Resident Evil series?
I mean, outside of Ashley as a character,
a truly terrible. Well, okay, yeah, granted, but like Resident Evil 4 was fun. Aside from those bits.
Yeah, whatever. The remakes, I hear, are allegedly very solid, so people are actually excited for more of them to come out. Alright, enough of that. Sony, cool. PS5 Slim is a thing.
Oh, okay.
So they're starting to work on more hardware now that they're not like having all of their development and R&D resources going to this thing that is literally a centimeter and a half thinner. Anyway, yeah, so they have just released their first accessibility-focused PS5 controller, the highly customizable Access controller. So Microsoft beat them to the game by, like, I don't know, 6 years, but
several years.
Yeah, thank you. Honestly, like the more options that people have, the better. Especially now that everything communicates over Bluetooth and a standard protocol. You no longer need to have weird ass programs running on your computer to translate the stupid bullshit PS3 Bluetooth shit.
6 different dongles.
Oh my god, I hate it. Yeah, so if it behaves like a standard Bluetooth HID device and it is otherwise customizable in any which way that people would need, thank you. Additional options are fantastic. Keep it up. Thumbs up. Another thing that they did with the PS5 Slim, they actually moved the drive to the outside. It is now something you plug in. It's an external Blu-ray reader. They don't lock it per console.
Oh, wow.
So you can actually like take it to a different console and it works.
It's like the HD DVD.
Yes,
reader
with the
from old
360.
360s, yeah.
Yeah. But they didn't lock it down, which is
in that case they had a
unexpected for
normal
Sony.
DVD drive as well built into the console, so you had to have your 2 drives going.
Yeah. So, yeah, you can take this thing and put it over there. And it actually continues to work.
Wow.
It's great. It's unlike Sony.
Not
Look at
parts
them.
paired. Incredible.
The like bare minimum of not being a shitty company.
I mean, like, okay, considering how all of the games consoles have like custom drive firmware and they're like locked to hardware GUIDs and shit, like that it's not doing that is like, okay.
To be fair, it is like an external peripheral device. You can presumably buy one separate from the console, and if you did that, you wouldn't want it to have to be paired with the console.
But I would expect it to be something like, oh, you're changing your region. You have 3 different region things that you can choose in the lifetime of the drive before it shits itself.
Ugh.
I mean, I was expecting something like that. Like, everything is behind gates in licenses these days. I was just expecting it to be some sort of shitty thing for users. And if it's not, that's great. So far, all signs point to no.
Part of that is that, like, few enough people use physical media for games these days that they just don't have enough incentive to pull that crap that it would be worth the bad PR. Like, that was probably a calculated decision.
Well, at least
least
they
in my
calculated it in a direction that didn't continue to shit on people.
Yes, yeah, I agree. Yeah.
They get single clap for that, I guess. There you go. Thank you.
All right. Let's see. Okay. So Annapurna came up recently for us because we just saw the movie Nimona, which came out earlier last year, actually. So that's pretty cool. If you haven't seen it, it's on Netflix, and it's quite good, especially if you happen to be an animal person. So Annapurna has also done other useful things that we know and love. And they've recently acquired a South African game studio called 24-Bit Games with the intention of letting them continue to do their own shit.
I've heard this before.
I have too. But apparently they're trying to get involved in like the actual game dev community, specifically in South Africa, to promote more growth there and get more competition, training, people interested in the industry, that kind of thing. So that's why I wanted to talk about that specifically, because it feels like they're trying to like engage instead of just be like, haha, you're just another arm of the company and whatever. So I think it's neat.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
24-Bit Games, they're still going to be 24-Bit Games. They're just a subsidiary of Annapurna. So that's pretty sweet. Outer Wilds has been released on Nintendo Switch. It's really interesting because the devs for that port have been actually kind of vocal about like the interesting things that they had to change about the game engine to make it work. And they've been pretty open about some of the things that they've been doing. I haven't read it personally. Lots of social media posts. Honestly, it's kind of worth it.
Interesting.
Yes, play Outer Wilds. Tell us about it before you do. I want to see. I want to watch. I want to experience things through your eyes.
I never remember which one that is.
Good. That means you haven't played it.
No, I haven't played it. I haven't. I get it mixed up with what is it, Outer Worlds or something?
Yeah, it's
or
Outer
whatever.
Worlds and Outer Worlds,
I know it's not the same
It's a
thing.
meme on the
clearly.
subreddit at this point because people go looking for that.
Right.
And they get
It's
pulled
like,
in.
I couldn't.
It's fine. Firetron, it's fine. But if any of y'all just happen to be interested in the concept of space exploration and existential learning of self and coming to grips with big things in your life.
And knowledge-based unlocks.
Yes. Please tell me.
It is a very satisfying game to watch other people play because it gives you like a tiny sliver of the joy you had when playing it yourself the first time. That is otherwise unobtainable.
It is
one of those that you can't go back and
You
re-experience
cannot
it the
go-
same
yeah,
way.
it is
yeah.
a-
Oh, it
I get it,
absolutely
one-time
is a puzzle
experience.
game.
I get you.
It absolutely is a puzzle game.
Yeah.
But like it's a thing where beyond the randomizer, whatever. Once you play it and experience it for the first time, you're not gonna forget. Like you'll remember enough of the details where like the magic is kind of not magical at that point.
Yeah.
Don't-
It
But
is
you
a
continue
very-
the high by seeing other people go through the game in their own way. And what's really interesting, especially about Let's Plays, is the genuine emotional reactions to things as they're discovered. And
Don't mind me just adding it to a list.
cool. People have various reactions to it because they do things in a different order. That's just kind of the way that this game works. And
Tunic kind of has like a toned down version of the same feeling to it. So like you're probably kind of familiar with like some of that like secret discovery and
I gotcha.
like
Okay.
things that are not explicitly handed to you in any way that you just sort of have to figure out through context and exploration. And it's like you can play the game whether you discover these things to their fullest extent or not. It's
Sure.
kind
Yep.
of adapts itself to the player.
Okay.
It's a similar feel, but like that's the whole game instead of also being a Zelda-like.
Yep.
I mean, it has its own like mechanics and gameplay that is distinct and enjoyable on its own, but like the big draw for Outer Wilds is the story and the exploration and the learning and kind of putting all that together.
I don't even know how I did that. Whatever. Hi. Okay.
All right, good. Well, it's coming up at a good point where I might be picking up a new stream game soon, so timing is everything.
Do let us know.
And thank you for posting your thoughts. Because that allows me to go back and see the things that I can't catch live.
I'm still like 2 months behind.
It's fine. You'll eventually get to it. We're what on round 70 something for credits?
I mean, yeah, that too.
Okay. I was like, wait a sec. I've been trying to share the show.
Yeah. I'll get to it.
It's all good.
It's a project.
One more thing.
One more thing, yes.
The thing that I am now extremely pissed about because it was so good,
Oh,
and then they
no.
took it away.
Oh no, what happened?
Are you talking about the Twitch thing? I was
Oh.
wondering if
It lasted less than 2 days.
days.
Good
Yep.
gravy. Right, that whole
God
thing.
damn. They had a moment of clarity where they're like,
Cry
wow,
loudly.
maybe we were way too heavy-handed on not having any sort of nudity, regardless of it being artistic or not, and the ability for artists to create things when it's properly labeled.
very subjective guidelines about streamers and streamers' bodies and attire and whatnot.
That
were
too.
Very biased against those with female figures. That they rolled all that back for a whole day and a half, and then the incels came out in force and mass reported people.
Yeah, and got partners and all sorts of folks banned for it because of so many reports in a certain amount of time, and it's auto banned. So, yep. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can't have nice things ever.
If you weren't going to say it, I was.
Another lesson to be. We're learning all sorts of things tonight. We're not learning all sorts of things. These are things we've already known for a while. But it sounds good.
We're bitching about the platform on itself. But I continue to be disappointed. Welcome to the theme of 2023.
The disappointment will continue until morale improves. Wait, that's not how that goes.
But it's accurate.
It is. It is.
Fuck.
Oh well.
I think it's all I got for news. Thankfully. Honestly, a lot of the shit's just shit. So,
Yeah. We ready for some uplifting tunes, maybe? Some very seasonal tunes, perhaps?
yes. All
Okay,
right.
let's do that.
So, for our listening segment, the first one of the night, I decided to go all holiday themed again, and the perennial Super Mario Sleigh Ride by the 1-Ups from Super Mario World is our start, moving into the Christmas version of Fisherman's Horizon by Guman Nam from Final Fantasy VIII, and ending with Christmas in the Village, a remix of Silver Bells by Dale North from Lufia 2, Rise of the Sinistrals.
Meep.
Yes.
No meeps. None
Yes.
meeps. We had the reverse meep at the start. That was okay. That's enough meeps for one night.
That was the celebration of the end of 2020. We'll call it that.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, so on to segment 2 here. What have we been playing since last time? It's been 2-ish months.
I
Right?
have no idea.
No,
I
just
can't
blank.
remember.
Yeah,
Like, did I?
that's part of why I stream, because now I've got a record of what I've played.
Right, you know when it happened.
Yeah, I haven't streamed since it was my
boy.
birthday and I was about to get COVID. Anyway,
All right.
Thanksgiving, did we do anything?
Yes, we
I
did.
played Magical Tetris Challenge
You
on a
did.
cabinet.
Yep. We
Oh,
went to an
whoa.
actual arcade in
Okay.
person.
Yeah, what was the name of
Okay.
that place?
Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum. It's kind of cult
Yes.
famous. It's also the name of a Tally Hall album. The place came first.
Ah,
Yeah, so I played that, and I also played a couple pinball games. Shit, yeah, I did do some stuff. Okay, I do not remember the name of the pinball game. It was not like super early generation. It was kind of mid. It was maybe late 70s.
Were you playing?
seven-
Was that the? They had a superhero one. I think it was the Flash. Was that the
No,
one?
that wasn't the one.
No.
It was
okay.
the leftmost one.
Got it.
I played a little skee ball, I guess.
Yeah, we played some skee ball.
Yeah.
Gotta play some skee ball.
Did we not play some sort of card game? I thought we did.
Uh,
No, your
my parents played.
your parents are
Chickenfoot.
playing
Yeah,
Chicken Foot, yeah, because that used the dominoes.
that's not a video game.
No, it's well, I mean, it's
no,
a game.
It's a game. You played it. It's good enough. Whatever. Not
Yeah, I'm
picky.
just trying to think of anything else.
No, you definitely Tetrised though. That happened.
Yeah, I got fifth on the cabinet with a just not great time. So
So did you do it again and just kind of
no,
make up for it? Oh.
it was a quarter a play because nobody wanted to play because it was in Japanese.
Oh, okay.
I
was-
was looking for other Tetris games and it was like, please,
That's
please.
the only one. Okay.
No.
Well, I need
Yeah.
Fortnite Storm.
The
Okay.
rotation system was also jank. So
It, like, okay, I don't know if it
Not
was like
SRS
100%
or-
guideline because it was like it spawned the pieces in a rotation I wasn't used to,
Mm.
and there was one rotate button.
I-
Or were there? No, there were
Oh,
two
there
were
rotate buttons
two.
instead of three, because it's
Oh,
usually
right, left, or something.
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
like you could do a 180 with
Mhm.
1 and 3 real easy, but I mean, like, I don't know, it was okay. Like the dash speed was different, so like I was getting kind of gutsy toward the end. It was like, oh, well, I can't move. Oh, well, okay, I topped out. Bye.
the wacky Disney graphics were very much a time.
Those existed.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
had like a whole story mode and everything.
yeah, of which I understood none.
Yes.
I didn't even know what mode I was playing in.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean, you know,
I was like, yeah, that looks
you
good.
do your best.
Sure. All right, yeah, it was a time. No, but pinball, like, damn, I'm gonna go back to that place that we went to for my birthday because
In
it had
Illinois.
no.
Oh, the other place. Okay.
I mean, honestly, either of those. But the place that we went to in August, it had Theater of Magic, and that's
right.
still my favorite pinball experience. But largely, honestly, like any 90s pinball machines generally just kind of hit for me because it was at that point in pinball where it wasn't like you're going to sink a ball every time that you try to do something with it. Like it actually does stuff. I don't know.
Mhm.
Like they started using magnets to like make it not quite as unforgiving and then you could do more shit. So, I don't know. It was when they were first starting to get into a lot of like special trick shots and things like that. You have to hit all these different kinds of ramps and do these repeated things, and then you get the special bonus modes and whatnot.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was a good time. I got an extra ball and a free play on that machine once that I was obsessing over, but honestly, I didn't do too great. I mean, it was better toward the end, but that's how those things go. You have to like sink a crap load of quarters into these things in order to like kind of get them.
Right. Yeah.
And then you feel like, okay, well, I have to keep playing. It's just how they do. But pinball. I want to go back and play more pinball. What was that that program that EI had all of those tables?
I think it was called Zen Pinball 3 or something. Zen Pinball FX, Zen FX,
Cool.
something along those lines.
And do you remember the name of the Wii game that we were playing that was hilarious with all the voice
Lord.
acting?
We'll see you at the tournament thing.
Yeah.
Fuck, which one was that?
It was something 3D pinball, but like I don't remember anything else about it.
I don't know.
But it
I
had
don't
like
know.
5 tables in it, and that was the only one I ever played because it was hilarious.
We had so many like goofy like carnival and party games adapted to
Mhm,
console
mhm,
type
mhm.
releases for it. Like it was a good console for that stuff.
Yeah, shit, I don't remember what that one was called. I'm sure you could search like Wii Pinball game and you'd find
Right.
it eventually.
Well, yeah, but which one?
Well, yeah, I know, but you'd probably be able to figure it out.
All right, let's find out. Dream Pinball 3D.
There you go. See? Easy.
I had to do Wii Pinball
Easy.
3D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I can get it on Glamazon for $15. I don't trust it. I have it on my
Yeah, that's way too high.
hard drive. Yeah. Anyway,
Oh,
Moving
boy.
on.
yeah. No, I want to play more pinball generally. Like there were some actually pretty good pinball video games. Like what the hell was it? Pokemon Pinball was like one of the first ones I played on Game Boy Color.
Yeah, that was a Game Boy Color.
And that
yeah,
like
yeah.
had a special cartridge that kind of like shook the handheld as you
Mhm,
played it. That
mhm.
was really
Had
neat.
the little rumble pack into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're playing a lot of Metroid Prime Pinball on OGDS. That was fun. That was a lot of fun.
Huh. I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Plus, then they had the separate rumble pack that slotted into the GBA slot. That was so cool.
Honestly though, like I kind of miss when they were starting to get a little more experimentative, like with using both the
Mhm.
actual slots in the unit. So the DS, what a console, honestly. Like
yeah.
God
yeah.
damn, they were super innovative with that because they just had hardware. Like they have to have backwards
Right?
compatibility,
Yeah.
but you can still access it electronically. So like, big thumbs up.
So much good stuff with that. It was just a good gen.
Yeah. Well, okay. Rambling aside, what have you been playing? Because I know yours is going to easily be
Oh,
the
mine's
longest list.
extremely long.
Yeah, I mean, I also was at the arcade, but I mostly just kind of hopped around and played a bunch of different things. So while we were for Thanksgiving, the reason we went to Marvin's was that we were in Michigan visiting my folks.
Okay.
Hooray.
And while in Michigan, poking around in the basement at the things that have not yet left the house that belong to myself and my siblings, we found all of the old TV games of the 90s and early 2000s variety.
You sure
that
did.
Just
Oh,
plug in
boy.
component video directly to the
those little
TV.
Composite
okay,
video.
yeah.
Composite, sorry.
Yeah,
Yes,
component
and
video.
are powered by a pack of AA's. And among those, there was a couple Namco multi machines. So I was playing some good old like Mappy and Galaga and Bosconian and stuff. Just having a grand old time. Other than that, I've been casually playing Super Animal Royale plenty lately. Always a fun, relaxing time. I'm maybe like a third of the way-ish, if that, through another playthrough of Night in the Woods. Picked that one up again because it had been 4.5, 5 years.
That's just such a vibe.
It's got it's a good one to revisit after a while away. Trying to think what else. I haven't been gaming as much as I usually would between like being back to school and having a stressful time at work. I just haven't had a ton of time for it, unfortunately. But I'm coming up on in February finishing my current degree program, so I'll be out of that and have time to do fun things with my life again. Looking forward to it.
We need to fuddle. It has been too long.
Faster than light, yes.
FTL.
Yes.
Okay, I was like, what?
Fuddle.
What? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't picked that one up in a while.
That has such a good soundtrack.
It's a good one. It's a good
So
one.
good.
I played some Dead Cells. It's been a while.
That's true.
It's
you
been
were
a few
you were
weeks,
getting
but
pretty good at that.
yeah,
actually.
I got like a good 10 or 15 runs in
Nice.
a span of 2 or 3 weeks. Was
Yeah,
definitely
that
enjoying
sounds-
it, like getting back into the like this is a good roguelike and I can get
Oh,
into
yeah.
it kind of feels, but
Yeah.
just kind of lost the time to keep up with it too much. But I'm trying to think. I feel like there's something else I'm forgetting, but that's also quite possibly just me inventing things to feel like I'm forgetting.
Mm.
Well, that's fine. All right, so I've been playing a lot,
As you do.
as one does on a routine and all that stuff. So previously to this show, obviously we'd had our last one in October. At the end of that one, I was starting to work on Sea of Stars. I have since finished Sea of Stars, and boy, if you haven't played Sea of Stars, please go play Sea of Stars. It is an excellent game. Excellent game.
Yasunori Mitsuda and everything.
Oh yes. So very Chrono Triggery, obviously. But that is an excellent comparison. It's not to put Sea of Stars down at all, either. And I'm not typically one for turn-based combat. I think it's a little slow and just I need more action. But the way they handled it was very excellent. Excellent handling of combat. The story was great. There were a couple feelsy moments, so be ready for that if you play it. And yeah, please go play Sea of Stars. It's good. If you have played The Messenger, you will find plenty of moments and hey, that looks familiar. Oh hey, that sounds familiar. Type stuff with that. Because they are technically in the same universe. Blah 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 blah.
Oh.
A prequel, etc. So it's very good. It's very good. It's one of those, I think, again, probably similar to what you're describing with Outer Wilds, is that once you experience it once, you can't experience it that same way again, which is unfortunate as for a lot of games, because sometimes you want to be able to like see it fresh and like you were just playing it for the first time, but it's still extremely good. So after Sea of Stars, then I tapped into Gunhead, the 3D remake of sorts of Cryptark. Essentially the same game as Cryptark, just in a 3D space instead of strictly 2D. Good game. I really liked it. There's some, and I don't know if it's because of my system or whatever else, there were some weird laggy bits. There were certain areas of these Proc Gen 3D maps or certain weapons that you would use that would slideshow the game for a bit. Which is honestly kind of hard to deal with when you need to get the fuck out of somewhere and or move fast. So that was kind of a disappointment. But overall, the game was quite good.
Nice.
Yeah, not much more to say on that one. And now I'm done with Gunhead, so I've picked up On Guard. This was a game recommended to me by a regular viewer. And purely for I have a feeling purely for the notion that when I played the original Darkest Dungeon, I would like to yell J'accuse a lot because that was an attack. So On Guard is a game primarily about fencing combat. So clearly, J'accuse, etc., etc. But it is very fun. It is very fun. It's a bit kind of flaky a little bit at times. The enemies don't follow like the expected, I would say at this point, of waiting their turn before they engage with you. So you can get like 4 or 5 people just fucking taking stabs at you all the time, which is a little frustrating.
I can hear the squawks now.
Sometimes, yeah. But it does lean pretty heavily on, and I don't do this enough, is using the environment around you to split the groups and go attack one-on-one and dispatch them and deal with it that way. Because I'm a very impatient person sometimes. So, but it is very fun. I'm still working on it now, but I feel like I've got another weekish to go on it. It's very pretty. It's comedically written, funny one-liners, etc. Those kind of blended in the background, and so you repeat enough of the segments, so you're like, okay, I've heard this like 3 times now. I know I'm terrible at the game. Let's move on. Yeah. But that's been fun. On SBC side of things, our SBC title for November was Poppin' Twinbee, a Super Nintendo slash Super Famicom title, one of the first titles, I believe, or a very early title to be called a cute 'em up, because it's very, very cartoony styled, etc., etc. But it's still a reasonable, solid shmup in its own regard. So that was fun to play. I had a good time with it. I know some people didn't like it very much, but you know what? That's right. We can all like different shmups. So then our new shmup for month of December is Sagaya. It's a shmup on the original Game Boy,
Okay.
which you wouldn't think would work very well. But it does a very solid job of being a shmup on the Game Boy.
8x7.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's very very kind of awkward. It does very well for being on the Game Boy. First of all, there's only like maybe one or two times when you can notice slowdown.
Uh-huh.
The rest of it seems good. You didn't get like the weird sprite flickering that you would see sometimes.
Sure.
And honestly, the mechanics of it were pretty solid. It's essentially Darius 2 from arcade just slapped into a Game Boy shell.
Okay.
But it was fun. It was a good time. We've had several people do the all clear. So everybody's been having good luck with it so far.
Cool.
And or protest 10K scores or whatever it happens to be. That's fine too.
Ooh.
Our quarterlies have been rotating in and out. Played a little bit of Death Smiles for our previous quarterly. It's a PC shmup. I didn't mesh with that one very well. I played it maybe once or twice, but I just could not get into it. It kind of encroaches on the scoring complexity side of things where I start to fall off, like interest-wise. Like, you give me a shmup that's shoot thing, get points, I'm into it.
Cool.
Let me at it. If you start developing a flowchart for that sort of thing, I'm like, I don't want to think about this that hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of one of those. But it was pretty fun. It was pretty fun for the brief time I spent with it.
Nice.
The new quarterly we just started up at the beginning of December now. Karis. It's a shmup on the Dreamcast, which has had a fair few other good shmups on it, like Border Down, which we had played prior as well. This one's kind of the flowcharty scoring again, but kind of the more understandable of the flowcharty scorings. Not a whole lot is hidden from you as far as what contributes to score. It's pretty apparent, it's shown on the HUD. Numbers go up, you're doing good, type thing. I've played it through once for actually it's the last session we had yesterday, and I did okay. But I've definitely revisited it, and I've got 2 additional months to do it, so plenty of time on that one. Blue Revolver is finishing up this month as well, and Blue Revolver, excellent shmup. Excellent shmup. PC, relatively recent, does a lot of very, very good design choice things. It tells you how to do the good score, like explicitly. There are certain things you need to do on bosses, on bigger enemies, that you destroy them in a certain way, or you don't destroy certain bits of it. But it actually shows you during the thing, here, do it in this order, or don't do this, or do this a special way. And I believe there's even a specific section in the menu that you can pull up that tells you how to do the fancy score things, which not a lot of games do.
Yeah.
It's so weird to me. Like, they want to keep all this like, granted, you want players to be able to figure out or whatever. But it is refreshing to see games to tell you how to do it. Now it's up to you to execute and do the good things, right?
I feel like that's a good accessibility thing too,
It
because
definitely
not
is,
everyone
yeah.
is gonna be able to intuit things as easily.
Right.
But that's
At least
kind of neat, though.
having somewhere to look for it if you want to look for it, where it's not shoved in your face if you
Mhm,
don't, is a
mhm.
good balance.
But having something like that early on in the genre as you're getting into it
Yeah,
will at least
right.
teach you that that's a thing.
Yeah,
Right.
Because
Yeah.
otherwise, how the fuck are you gonna know?
Right, exactly. Like, it's not overly intrusive, like saying, "Hey, do this all the time." And it's a little brief blip, and they have different symbols and different audio cues and stuff like that. And it's really satisfying when you get it right. Or you reset the stage if you get it wrong, because some people play shmups like that. But yeah, Blue Revolver's excellent game. I'm gonna be sad when it goes away for SBC at the end of December, but that's how it be. Sunday long plays. Okay, so I went back and played Curse to Golf again a couple times. They had just released an update with some kind of remix levels or whatever, and the remix mode on that is fucking hard.
Really?
Jeez, yeah, they slam a whole bunch of sort of prefab levels together in a series of 8 or 9. And they shuffle through them each different time you play, but I don't know what it is about those particular levels, the way they're designed. It's just very difficult. I got maybe through 4, maybe up to 5 before I, lost, and it starts you back at the beginning if you lose. So it's just like, well, shit. I don't want to go through this again and again and again and again, even though I tend to do that anyways. But I spent a good 2 or 3 long play sessions on it. It was fun. I like Curse to Golf in general. It's a good game. But then after that, I picked up Spelunky 2 again, and I was informed that there is a randomizer for Spelunky 2.
There is.
Yeah, and that's chaos.
Uh-huh.
It is extreme chaos, but it's fun. It's a lot of damn fun. And I it's still very punishing. It will smack you down hard. But it's fun enough where I don't mind going back and retrying. So there have been several times where I've encountered, boulders coming out of pots and killing me, and cosmic jellyfish popping out of pots and killing me, and I think the crush blocks, both small and large, have the largest kill count on me. But it's still Spelunky 2. Like, what do you want? It's really fun. A couple things I've been playing off stream. I've played a lot of Doom Infinite lately. That's a mod for OG Doom that makes it sort of like a roguelike. Shuffles up all the levels, you're able to upgrade your weapons of certain stats. Enemies gain certain buffs, and it's really quite good for just a normal ass mod of OG Doom.
Yeah.
Seems fun.
I feel like there's one other thing. Oh, right. We didn't discuss this in the news because it was up for a day and a half and then it got pulled down. The Link's Awakening DX HD thing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Do they include the original assets?
Yes.
Yeah, dumb fucks.
Yeah, don't do that. But I did play a little bit of that. It was very interesting.
I did not get a chance to.
No, it's very well done. But you anytime anything like that comes out, you naturally know what's going to happen to it, right?
Uh-huh.
So clearly, yes, everybody was right that it did happen and got taken down extremely quickly. Oh yeah, Risk of Rain Returns, right? I did play a little bit of that too. That's a fun game. I like it. I liked the OG Risk of Rain. I really liked Risk of Rain 2. That translated to 3D just beautifully.
I still haven't actually watched any gameplay yet.
No?
I gotta try it
It's
yet,
beautiful. Yeah. The one thing I found disappointed about it, and I'm sure this is probably my system and not anything endemic to the actual game itself, is that I cannot for the life of me make a loop happen because it crashes when I loop. And I hate it. Because by the time you loop, you got a good thing going. It's the run's got some legs. You're doing the thing, and then fuck, there it goes. And it's like no.
Is that a Proton thing?
I don't know. I imagine it has something to do with me not playing Windows or whatever. But oh well. Oh well, I keep going back to it though because it is fun, and I still need to unlock a whole bunch of shit that can be done without a loop. So there's plenty of stuff I can do, but I have to be able to loop because that's when it gets fun and interesting, more fun and more interesting. Not to say that it isn't originally. There's some other things in between, but that's pretty normal. I think that's it.
Cool.
Are you ready for Tunes Part 2 here then?
Why not?
Let's some
go.
music.
So.
I did not go the seasonal route
Awful.
because I picked these for the November show.
Yeah, okay, fine.
So I'll just go with it. It's fine. Let's start off with I guess it is sort of seasonable for the time. Let's start off with a remix from Nightmare on Elm Street.
Hey.
Entitled You've Got the Body, I've Got the Synth by Vic Viper. And then a remix from Minecraft entitled Blue Magic by No Tux. And then finishing off with a remix from Street Fighter 2 entitled Vegas Theme Pulse Mix by McVath. Me.
Oh, you meeped it.
You looked at me as you did it.
I know.
So
I was trying to get really close.
All
And I
right.
was just like, this one didn't have much of a fade out, so I was like, oh fuck, no,
Too
too late.
You did it just for me.
That's all right. I mean, we had to have one more like genuine meep for 2023
That's
just
fair,
to
that's
really send it off, I guess.
Yeah.
Right before we get started for design tonight. So let's make a game.net. We get 3 rolls.
Yep.
We cannot go back to previous rolls. So as is probably tradition, once we hit 3rd roll, that's it. We're stuck, and that's how you end up with erotic visual novels.
Yep. And we also cannot choose the thing that shows up on page load, which
Correct.
I have ready for you now.
All right, go. What can we not do?
All right. So, to give people a little reminder, we have at least 1, sometimes 2, each of genre, rules, setting, and theme. The page load game is point and click and art game.
Okay, all right, no loss there.
The rule is everything has a cost. The setting is superhero. The theme is search for identity.
Jeez, that's a popular one.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't feel bad about that one.
All right, we are going to push the generate button, which will give us our first option of the night. Again, 2 genres, 1 each, rule, setting, and theme. You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Genre number 1, business sim.
Oh, no.
Genre number 2, QWOP-like.
Okay.
Yeah. The rule is a single resource. The setting is medieval.
What?
And the theme is revenge.
What in the world?
This is really out there.
Oh, that is one of the wilder mixes, yeah?
Just a little bit, yeah.
Business sim, QOP like single resource medieval revenge.
You're the Black Knight trying to peddle something
How do you
which will kill off the good knight. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't fucking know.
queue up and business sim at all? Those two things just seem incompatible.
You're the Black Knight with all of your limbs already hewn off,
Yes.
trying to get back on your feet, by running a stand at like the next jousting tournament or
Why
something.
not? Yeah.
Oh no.
Night kebab. Anyhow.
Oh boy, that is, man.
I mean, it's funny, but
It is.
like,
It is. I don't know how much further I can go with it. Though.
yeah, honestly, yeah. I mean, like, I can absolutely bullshit a story together, but like, yeah.
I don't think we need to pursue that anymore.
No,
Cool.
no,
We're pushing the generate button once
We did our
again.
a couple shit posts on it. That's enough.
All right. Roll number 2, 1 each. The genre is Momorpeg.
Oh boy. Okay.
Specifically, it says MMO, but I'm saying Momorpeg.
Right. No, I get you. I get exactly what that means.
The rule is limited capacity.
Well, gee, isn't that true to life?
The setting is Mafia,
Oh.
and the theme is coming of age.
I see.
Babby's first Tommy gun.
It's probably the Memorpig that throws that one, actually, out of all those.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't say Memorpeg. It says MMO.
Massively
specifically.
multiplayer online.
Well,
But it
don't
doesn't
say that.
specify the RPG
Don't
part.
do the
That's
Orpeg
different.
if it's not an Orpeg.
I said that, and you're like, oh, okay, fine. Technically, it's only MMO.
Okay.
Fine.
All right. I don't think that
Fine.
helps the case, but you know.
Not really, because you're going to be playing the role of a young mafia family member. Ah, shit. Do you have to, like... Never mind. Nope. I don't like it.
Huh.
Oh, no. My magazine is empty. Let's go pick up another. Oh, there's your limited capacity. Oh, simple.
Jeez. I was thinking like maximum occupancy in the club or something.
Yeah,
So,
okay,
you know,
that's fair.
That's not good either.
Limited territory that you control because you're new in the mafia. So they
Right,
only assign
right,
you
right.
like one block to.
I accidentally pushed generate again. I'm not looking at it.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
huh.
Sorry.
Well, we can decide if we're gonna do this. Like, I don't know. I don't feel this one either.
No.
I
No.
think we're going for our usual
Are we
roll
doing the
number
3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Please, not patriotism again.
How badly are we screwed?
Okay, 2 genres, 1 each, rule setting and theme. That
Okie
seems to
dokie.
be a theme for the night.
Huh.
All right, the first genre is card game.
Oh no.
Okay.
Second genre is tower defense.
Oh,
Okay.
that could work.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Okay, the rule is 1 HP.
Okay, so you can't let anything through, yeah.
Okay.
Setting is zombie.
This
Zombie
is,
tower defense. It's
this
a
all
thing.
sets
It's a
itself
thing.
up reasonably well, yeah.
Okay. And
But
then
the theme is tragedy.
Oh, I mean, zombie and tragedy works.
that does
pretty well
work. That's
most
like
of the
less
time.
camp and more like realism type. Yeah, shit's fucked.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I like this.
That's interesting.
I feel like
Okay.
it puts itself together pretty well. I don't know if I have any like novel ideas relating to it, but it isn't bad.
So,
Card game. Card game, tower defense, 1 HP, zombie tragedy.
we have to decide
Well,
how the
alright.
zombie fits into this. Is the zombie trying to defend the tower?
Yeah.
That doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the intuitive thing is the zombie hordes are what you're defending against. But
Mhm.
the funny twist that I was thinking of would be rather to invert the 1 HP thing to be the enemies all have 1 HP rather than you, and so it becomes a pure numbers game.
Which would lend itself well to a card game, yeah.
Yeah, because like if you have limited enough resources as far as like maybe your towers have ammunition or
Sure.
you're limited in the number of towers you can apply or like that sort of thing, or the places you can put them are strategically difficult.
Okay.
Just having to think about it from like how do I keep any of the horde from getting into my settlement kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I mean, also though, like I feel like the traditional perception of 1 HP could work just fine too, because like, oh, one zombie gets into your village, well, they're just gonna infect all the villagers, and that's
Yeah.
this is a super contagious zombie outbreak, and you're done.
I like the first one better because, like, a card game will let you build upon existing cards that are in play.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you could have a mechanic where you have base equipment or something, whatever,
Mm.
a base unit that you can play, but it also has other attributes that if you play it on an existing unit, it augments it in some way.
Yeah. So
Mhm,
you're thinking
mhm.
like the Yu-Gi-Oh MTG kind of approach,
Sure.
but like you have deployed creatures or towers
can
or
equip.
whatnot.
Right.
Yeah.
You attach
Yeah.
stuff to it. Yeah, I get you. Okay.
Or artifacts or whatnot. So, let's go ahead and do that. So each card can be an individual unit that's weak, or it can be an augmentation for another type of unit. Like, say for instance, you had a specific unit type, and you drew another of the same kind of, or the same class of unit. You could augment that same unit type, but not others, perhaps? Maybe?
Okay.
Just so it
Maybe.
isn't like, I'm going to build one thing, and it's going to have these 7
Oh,
different
yeah.
things on it, and it's just going to be hucking everything ever. Like,
Well, I mean, I feel like that also is limited by the whole 1 HP premise too, though, because like if you're mainly concerned with how many zombies can I kill rather than how much damage can I huck at a single zombie, then you're gonna want more than one tower because you're like the DPS that a single tower can do is just gonna be limited.
but I mean, like, some of the augmentations could be like a rapid fire crossbow or
Sure,
a bolt
sure.
gun or something.
Or
Like,
target more
yeah,
than one
I mean,
at
to
a time.
keep it
spread,
interesting,
et
you
cetera.
need to have
Yeah.
some kind of balance between strategies where it is at different points in gameplay viable to either upgrade or to expand, but you never want it to be too, like, oh, the meta is just build a bunch of unupgraded towers because that's boring. Oh, the meta is just throw everything at one tower. That is also boring. So
yeah.
you kind of have to balance yourself somehow.
We're going to have different classes of zombies, too. So, like, they send the fodder in first to see if they even have to bother.
I mean,
And then
that's
eventually
a-
things get more challenging.
that's a trope for tower defense,
I
but I
know.
feel like
Mhm,
if we're
mhm.
turning it on its head with the 1 HP thing, like how how much is that really going to differentiate, right?
Okay,
Maybe
well,
they're immune to certain attack
Oh,
types
yeah,
of
that
yours.
could work.
the other thing
Or
too
different
is
movement
armor
pattern.
Yeah.
class. So if you manage to get rid of their armor, then
Mm.
they're vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I guess I mean that's kind of cheating on the 1 HP, but it isn't like
Well, I
directly
mean,
violating it. So
So we're
would
committed
you
to the
like?
1 HP of the zombie horde, right?
Yeah, let's
That's
go
the
with
way we're
that.
going. Okay.
I think
Okay.
that's
Okay.
yeah.
or each individual zombie in the horde.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Many enemies, but all of them are squishy.
Oh, actually, though, that you asked that question made me think of something that we could implement too. So, primary spawn, kind of like the original Legend of Zelda. If you kill the primary spawn, everything
I
else
see.
in the room dies, or on the
I
screen
see.
rather.
Okay.
Just a thought. You might get lucky occasionally.
I feel like that's. I mean, with tower defense though, you're not really able to target enemies most of the time. Like you kind of set up a
That's-
system to deal with
Well-
enemies. It depends on the game.
Maybe that's an attribute of your units then, is their range, like how many deep can you target,
Mm.
or how far away can you target.
And
So
how accurate are they? I
how
suppose,
accurate
is
are
another thing.
they? Are you even able to pick yourself?
Right, yeah, you could
Maybe
have
some
them
units can, maybe some can't.
target the furthest ahead or like target the most
Mhm.
upgraded unit or that sort of thing. Yeah.
I mean, in that conversation topic also makes me think that you would have units that would specialize in like the fast zombies
Mm-hmm.
or the
Mhm.
tanky ones or the ones that might have an AoE passive effect or something like that. Yeah.
So I feel like one thing with this set of criteria for building a game um, is like we're really kind of left wide open as far as like what is the theme and the mood and the lore and like zombie is kind of all we have in that regard, and there's a lot of different things you can do with zombie that's more of like a
Mhm.
partial theme than an actual like
Yeah, it's a thematic guide
yeah.
rather than just a strict.
So
it
like
must be zombies.
I'm starting to think like what is our setting? What are our towers? Are they survivors? Are they robots scrapped together by the settlement to defend it? Like
You can
how
also have
can we go like full techno futuristic or full medieval or magic users? Like
oh,
there's a
actually,
lot of different ways we could go with it.
Mhm.
so you can have your different zombie types be like literal zombie animals. So zombified animals might be a thing if you don't want to have like different humanoid classes or some such. I don't know. I was
Yeah.
just trying to think of like how
Maybe.
you could like make that more interesting because
Other
that might explain like the attribute differences.
other zombified critters, yeah.
Zombie mice. Oh god.
What's the whole thing? Would you rather fight like 50 of this versus one of this or
Right,
whatever?
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Horse-sized ducks or
Yeah,
duck-sized
duck-sized
horses.
horses.
Yeah.
There's some weird like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the tragedy here? Is the tragedy that we're killing all these things that used to be humans and or otherwise unzombified things, or is the tragedy going to be like when you lose your last bastion of humanity or whatever it happens to be is toast, or both?
Why not both?
Porque lo nostos.
Honestly,
Porque no
like
lostos.
I feel like you like having some kind of narrative string that like directly connects the zombified hordes to the people trying to survive them. Like oh, they were all part of a community of some sort beforehand,
Mhm, mhm.
or maybe like you're in the uh, research facility that was trying to create the solution to the zombie virus, and everything that's attacking you is like the researchers and test subjects that were working on the cure and then succumbed to the virus. Or like, yeah, I don't know. There's a few different ways you could spin that, but like, kind of setting up some like personal relation between the player character and the onslaught of Zambos.
Mhm, mhm. Hmm.
Oh yeah, that's a classic one. Yep. Yeah, I mean, anytime you have a zombie story that has a cure, you kind of have that dynamic established of like, oh, we finally solved it, but it was too late for uh, all the folks that died along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Actually, though, I wonder if you could have a unit type that might be like a laboratory.
Huh?
Does it give you like maybe it gives you extra card draws or something?
But maybe you could
Research.
ostensibly concoct a cure based on your card draws after
Oh,
time.
like have that
Okay.
be a victory condition.
That's the victory.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
It's
Like,
either outlast or cure.
yeah, balance between your defensive capabilities versus research, so you can actually win. Type
Honestly,
stuff, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
no, that's a good strategy point.
That's some interesting resource management stuff.
That almost kind of makes it feel like Pandemic.
Yeah, it
Huh.
does.
Okay,
That's
honestly,
fine. That's good.
Haven't
Yeah.
played that one.
I played it once. It was honestly pretty fun.
I can't bring myself to play it now, but
Well, yeah, no.
Trauma.
yeah. Current events. No, that's no good.
Hashtag
Yeah.
too real. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, still kind of feel like we're vague on the setting. Are we just going like full contemporary, modern
Why not choose?
reality? I feel like it'd be fun to do something zany with it. Like, I don't know.
I mean, you could pull the whole. Which one is that? Is it Age of Empires that advances through the eras when you do things, or which one was it? No, Civilization. Sorry, I'm thinking of that one, where the different scenarios advance through. Okay, Bronze Age. All right, medieval, Victorian, modern, future, etc.
This kind of feels like if we're going to have the option to create a cure for the people we care about, or whatever the creatures we care about that were zombified, then we
Mhm.
kind of have to like stick in a limited
Stick
time frame.
Modernish
Yeah, it has
plus,
to be modern,
right?
modern
Yeah.
plus. I was thinking of like, oh, could you sci-fi it and like make it an alien world or
I mean,
distant future?
Sure.
But
I was thinking of like if he really wanted to do something that was both old and new, I guess, Zeal, that kind of thing.
Hmm.
Where you had like magic technology in an otherwise old world.
I feel like you've brought that up in a previous game design segment and
I wouldn't
told
be
me about it.
surprised.
Yeah, because it sounds vaguely familiar.
And then the magic gets out of hand, then that's the zombification. That's what's causing this, whatever the heck it is.
Honestly,
Or you just
hold
go,
up.
woo, it could be Queen Zeal and Mad with Power, etc., etc.
Honestly, like something could be robbing these people of their will in a way that causes them to be able to infect others in the same way.
Mhm. And then there's the tragedy, right? That's maybe that's how it's going, that they're not exactly acting on their own will, but you have to stop them from preventing you from figuring out a way to cure it. So
Right.
the
Right,
way
yeah,
to
yeah.
stop them is to. That's pretty tragic.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
Sure, let's
Pretty
go
effing
that
tragic.
route.
I mean, that's definitely it is used oftentimes as like the parasite kind of trope, where like,
Mhm,
oh, they're
mhm.
still conscious, but they can't control their body anymore. You get
Right.
the whole Halo flood
Yeah.
kind of.
something Lavos spawn.
Yeah,
etc. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you tell I've been listening to a lot of Chrono Trigger music lately?
Play Sea of Stars. Sorry. It's just a knee-jerk reaction at this point.
Yeah.
It does seem up your alley, yeah.
So many games I have promised to play.
Hey, if I ever hear you have an empty games list, I'll be like, you
Oh.
have so many that you can play and would probably enjoy. I won't hear that.
I still find it amazing that I had not heard of Chrono Trigger until I was in college. You were like, "What the
Are you
fuck?"
really? I think I'm always surprised when you bring that up. Cause
Yeah, I had never
can't
heard of it
believe
before you told me. Like, dude,
Oh my god.
there's more than just Final Fantasy for turn-based RPGs on this SNES.
Mhm.
Okay. Oh shit. My eyes were opened. And then Lufia happened. Anyway, Lufio 1. What a time.
I did like that game.
It
a fun
was
game.
good. It was just mechanically
I mean, yeah, it was,
jumbled.
I think it was earlier SNES, right?
It was.
Too.
Yeah,
So
it
it's
was
like,
like
yeah, they were
92.
still trying to feel it out, and they could do more than NES, obviously, but
Yep.
they couldn't quite do the thing. All right. Seems pretty solid.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and pull the audible of not deciding. Well, it's card game
Yeah, I
inputs.
mean, you can do
Uh,
that keyboard, mouse, or controller.
right.
It's pretty easy.
Well, I mean, like, or literal cards.
Or literal cards.
Literal cards. Yes, that's true. It doesn't
Sit around the
have to
table,
be-
damn it.
have to be a video game. I feel like Tower Defense would be hard to do as a tabletop. I mean,
It
I
would
guess if you
be.
made it turn based, maybe, but
If they can make Mousetrap a board game,
Almost.
like,
well, okay, but that's very like kinetic and relies on the actual like physics of the components to do things.
Right.
Like that's not a bunch of autonomous little enemy dudes deciding to march along a
All
map.
right,
never worked.
fine. Gosh.
Whatever. Okay, keyboard, mouse, gamepad, literal cards if you'd like. That's fine. We don't have to tie it down. I don't care.
Yeah.
Graphic and audio style. I just want to do shrug here because I
Sure.
honestly most times nowadays it's like we don't need to
Just
figure that
depends
out.
on
Especially
the
when
direction,
it's
yeah.
like an actual card game.
Right. Yeah. That too.
We can do fantasy-esque. Yeah, because it is that kind of setting.
Okay.
Gothic fantasy.
Why not?
Gothic would be. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Darkest Dungeon Core.
Oh Lord.
Ooh, Dungeon Core.
I feel like
That's got to be a music genre.
someone's tagged their music with that at least once in the past.
Ah, yes.
I bet you there are
Probably.
two or
Music to-
three very discordant styles of music that have been tagged that
Oh,
on SoundCloud.
yeah.
Yep, I'm not finishing that sentence. Hi.
Uh-huh.
Okay, then title.
Ah.
The most difficult of all things.
As always.
Hmm.
I'm trying to think of something along the lines of like highlighting the kind of horror element of the
Mhm.
nature of the curse.
I mean, I can think of something like unself,
That's
but
a little basic
yeah,
as far
you're not
as like, the
wrong.
wording. Yeah.
Look at Tormod being a basic bitch. It's fine. I'm trying to come up with concepts that are like robbing of conscious thought.
Hmm.
And then of course I'm like, slave crown, slave crown.
No, that's been done. Stop it.
Exactly. Thank you, Kafka. Yeah, you didn't know.
Mm. I mean, if you go the infectious bit or parasitic route, debugged or something like that, I don't know. That's kind of stupid.
Yeah.
It would make sense if we were going like
It would like the
cyberpunk-y with
techno
it.
one
Yeah,
would
yeah.
would definitely match, but
Hmm.
what about the tragic route? You just find something around tragedy, or ethically dubious choices. I mean,
I'm looking something up real quick. Ooh, anathema. What a good word.
that's a good word.
Anathema of blank.
Why?
Or something anathema.
I guess I'm not sure where you're pulling anathema from in relation to the game.
Well, I'm thinking of other words that are like curse, not other curse words, because that's funny.
Oh.
Um,
I guess. I mean, I feel like anathema has like a more specific connotation to
I
it.
mean, it
though.
kind of does, but it's got the right vibe.
Yeah.
Curse, corruption.
Interesting. Anathema, the second definition, a formal curse by a pope or council of the church.
Oh, that's a more religious bent, I guess, huh?
Yeah, but I mean, if you have your person who assumes the role of God,
I guess.
Is there one here though?
Yeah.
well, I mean,
Or is it
soul
like,
stealing,
I
whatever.
mean,
I
yeah.
don't know. Or it's also a strong curse. So, curious.
Is that the noun form? An anathema or
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's defined with an example of the sergeant clutched the ruined communicator, muttering anathema.
huh? All right.
I don't know. I find it interesting.
That's a good word. It's $20 word, but
Oh, yes. Honestly, that by itself could be an interesting title.
I guess.
A strong curse.
You could always go the like more generically descriptive zombie game kind of titling approach, like Seas of Torment or something. Like you have hordes of many zombies. It is a bad time.
oh, good. Can't wait.
No.
No, not doing it.
Not
For-
allowed to say on
Okay.
For off stream.
If I must. No.
You don't must. You don't have to if you think it's bad enough. But
It's just, it's dumb. Rigor Hortus.
okay, that's dumb.
Oh. Ouch.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Groan.
I think we used up all our subtitles on other games,
Yeah.
like Gun Gods and whatever.
Gods with guns.
Gods with Guns.
Oh, shit.
3.5 or whatever the fuck. Part 3.5 or
Etc.
whatever it happened to be.
Uh-huh.
That's fine. Like they don't all have to be like fucking Game of the Year titles here. I don't.
Anathema, we're
I'm
good.
fine with Anathema.
I feel like that's a good like working project title that will
Right.
turn into the actual
Yeah.
title because people hear about it and then it becomes the actual title.
Project
Trying-
Octopath.
I was gonna say Triangle
Well-
Strategy because Octopath is at least like cool sounding, but you know.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's the Eightfold Path.
I mean, at the very least, it'll live on in the source code in so many different ways.
Oh yeah.
All the variable names.
Yeah.
Yep.
I get you.
Project files.
Project Anathema. Hey!
2, 3, final. Use this one.
Mm-hmm.
New document.txt. Shit!
Exactly.
I
All
get
right,
you.
cool. Well, I think I'm comfortable with shipping this
Yeah,
one.
that sounds good.
That's
All right.
fine. That's fine.
We did
with
it.
me.
We made a card game.
We did. And
Somebody was just asking me earlier today, like, what kind of game are you going to make? I don't know.
fuck if I
Whatever he
know.
tells us to make.
That's the fun part.
Yep.
That's the hook. You never know until we get to the inevitable third roll.
As it always is.
Yeah.
So,
Always. We did do a single, the first roll one time, right? I feel like that happened
I think
this
we
year.
did too. Yeah. So,
Oh boy.
the mythical
oh boy.
fourth roll, though.
Right, because we do that. Right. What could we have? Well, no. What would we probably not have done?
What could we not have done,
Yes.
even if we wanted to? Two genres.
Okay.
First is open world. The second is Metroidvania, which basically is the same. The rule is entire game on one screen. Huh?
Oh.
Huh.
So this is starting to make me think of like the hell is that, like, contraption, whatever the
What?
Like Marvelous Machines or whatever it
Oh,
was.
Incredible Machine.
The Incredible Machine, yeah, where you like have to like flip switches and find parts.
Okay.
And,
Yeah. Okay.
setting is utopia and the theme is family drama.
Okay.
Yeah,
Minus the theme, it seems like it could be a fun fun idea.
An interesting,
My
yeah,
immediate
thing to
thought with
experiment.
the Metroidvania and the whole game on one screen thing is like having like everything is constantly in simulation and you have an infinitely variable zoom level.
One continuous world rather than
so
screen transitions
There's
and
like
shit like
need
that.
to
Yeah,
zoom in and out as you progress through gameplay based on like needing to check things or like needing to interact on a larger or smaller scale.
Mhm,
That could be fun.
Mm-hmm. See that working out.
But we couldn't do it.
But it doesn't matter. We can't do it anyway.
But the future refused to change.
Play Sea of Stars.
That's fair. That's fair.
Okay, cool. Well, then we're coming up to the end of Insert Credits round 117 here. Anything more we need to impart? Otherwise, we can wrap.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, as this is
etc.
the final show of 2023. Hooray.
Sleep time.
Now it very well could be sleep time. Yes, we are now at the end of the show. Well, thank you very much for joining us, everyone. I'm Mr. Bond.
I'm Tormod.
And I'm Vlad.
And we'll leave you with, hopefully, our final use of this closing track here. We'll see. A remix from Mario Kart Wii entitled Wind in Your Hair by Overclock University. Good night, everybody.
Ciao.